I ordered this from Nintendo and it said 5 to 7 days. They shipped this within 2 days. Have you ever seen anything more beautiful? I've never been this excited to get a video game controller. And yes, this works only on the Switch too, but it doesn't just work for classic GameCube, meaning you can play Smash Brothers with this controller. It just has to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's beautiful. It's what we've been asking for. I love OEM GameCube controllers. I think there's never been a better way to play Smash than the GameCube controller. But to get a brand new... Okay, so this does not come with an instruction manual. It does come with USB-C cable, which is nice. This is wireless, by the way, but... Okay, my C button was a little dirty, but this is fresh out the factory. My goodness. Feels great in hand. Man, an OEM and that purple, that beautiful indigo color. I'm glad. Usually when they do classic controllers, they just go for gray. So the fact that they gave it that classic purple, this is fresh out the factory, which is crazy. It's a little dusty. So Nintendo, clean your factory. But I will be comparing this next to an OEM wired GameCube controller. This is wireless, a Wavebird, and a Wavebird where you don't have to plug the little stick in. I cannot wait to be playing Smash Brothers on this. Rechargeable, no battery needed. There's Rumble. It's USB-C, so I can fast charge. I cannot tell you how happy I am that they put this out there. I've done many controller reviews and I'm like, oh, it's a nice looking control. This is absolutely stunning. This is beautiful. This is a masterpiece. It is magnifique. So I've used this controller for the past month rigorously and I do have some thoughts about it. One, I thought it would be a lot heavier than this, and it's not, which is a great thing. This is only compatible with the Switch 2, and that has some plus or minuses because that means this will never be replaced. Because if you want to play on older consoles, even if you want to play on the Switch 1, or if you want to play on the GameCube or the Wii, you're still going to need the wired controller. Two, you can still use this on the Switch 2 if you have the plugin. And let's say if you're just thinking about having a Smash night, right? There's going to be 4 plugins, and you probably have a lot of these laying around. Now, this is OEM. I just want to point that out. This is an OEM Nintendo controller. This was released for Smash Ultimate. But looking at it, one thing I noticed is the clickiness of these triggers, right? They're both pressurized. So if you're playing Galaxy, when you hold down slightly, just a little bit water comes out. If you hold down crazy. But I like this clickiness. I love it. And that was how it was in the original GameCube controller. Now, it's not there. It's not there at all. Just for example. You can feel it a lot when you press it. This feels amazing. Like if I shield, I love that. This is more, it doesn't feel as good. Everything else feels great. I think this was just a inconsistency with my controller is the Z button. It doesn't click very well. Like realistically, when I play Smash, it still hits every time. But it doesn't feel as responsive as it should, like this controller. That just feels great. It just boom and shield, boom and shield. Not grab, rather. Grab combo, right? Grab, grab, grab. But everything else feels amazing. This is a great option to have in 2026. You can still get a GameCube controller to play. The battery life on this is amazing. I've charged it once in the month that I've been using it. But the triggers are a little bit disappointing compared to that just feels premium. It feels high quality. But everything else, you know, even the weight-wise, yes, this is a bit heavier because of the battery. It's not anything super substantial. Now, if I'm playing competitive, a wired connection, in my opinion, is always the best way to go. And this controller does feel a bit better. It does feel, you know. Now, if I had to rate this a solid 9 out of 10, just for the fact that you can get a GameCube controller in 2026, and it's not a deal breaker, because I did not expect this to be compatible with the Wii, the GameCube, or even the Switch 1 for that matter. And a lot of people are upset that it's not, but I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. I expected this just to be available for the Switch 2. Now, hopefully, and it's probably 10 years from now when they do release a new Switch 3, that this is still compatible with that. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another GameCube controller, because there's not a better way to play Smash. But the fact that you can get this in 2026 makes me have to give it a 9. The fact that it's OEM, the rumble on these two is exactly the same thing. I have my silver controller somewhere laying around. I think I let a friend borrow it, which is also OEM. And there wasn't much changes from this to what released in whatever year this came out. I think 2004, 2005. It was almost identical from the breakdown. Now, maybe over time, I don't even think it's an over time thing, because why am I so fixated on this? Because that's a big thing. Like, boom, amazing, right? From Shield Drive. Not as clicky, not as responsive now. I don't know if I just got a bad controller, but this feels amazing. This, not so much. But this is still the best way to play Smash Brothers. This is still a great alternative. I mean, it's a beauty. It looks exactly like the original, just without, you know, there are some enhancements as well, right? So you have the chat button here. You have the home button here. You have the screenshot. There's even a ZL button, which I don't know what the heck the ZL button does. Maybe it's so there's two bumpers to play modern games. I have not played a modern game with this yet, but that does sound kind of fun, you know, to play Mario Kart with this. I do prefer the Pro Controller. The only game I would honestly use this for is maybe GameCube Collection or Smash Brothers. But I'm just kind of like, this button doesn't feel as clicky as it should, and I think that's probably inconsistency on my controller, which I wouldn't worry about. And it's not anything that has cost me a game. It's more of a psychological advantage. The buttons is a big thing, but it depends, because it's a double-edged sword, right? Because they don't sell the adapter. I'm an OEM guy. I don't use third party. So I have the OEM adapter, but they don't sell that anymore. So it's going to be impossible. You have to use a third party. And for someone, I wouldn't, if I'm using wired, I can't do a third party adapter. I have to do the OEM one. I wish they would still sell a wired GameCube controller with the OEM adapter. You know, it'd probably be a little bit less expensive. And even if, because this is pretty expensive, if you value this at $40, right? You sell these at $40. You sell the adapter at $40. Boom, you can knock in 4 controllers. You can run through them. At this price point, you're probably going to think about how many of these do I truly want to go through, right? At least it's something to consider. And if you're playing professionally or you're playing competitive and you want even the slightest advantage when it comes to even a millisecond of response times. And I mentioned all the negatives of it being only Switch 2, but I haven't mentioned some of the positives. Like, Switch 1 hardware does work on the 2, but you can't start the console. You have to physically press the console button. With this GameCube controller, you can turn on the system with the said controller. There are some positives There's a reason this controller is a 9, and it is